Hello, hockey fans. My name is David. Thought I would start this message at 12:32 on the morning of Tuesday, 4th of October 2022, North American Eastern Time. It's 10:32 on Monday evening over in the Mountain Time Zone. It's where the Oilers finished just hours ago hosting the Canucks and beating them handily 7-2. It's 9:32 over in the Pacific Time Zone, where the Vancouver Canucks of the NHL are based, or at least where they have their home arena. Yeah, there's no doubt the Oilers just absolutely spanked the Canucks 7-2. I'll get to that in a moment. First thing I would do, as a Leafs fan, get a little bit of what I liked and what I didn't about that game, which took place at the Bell Center, home of the Habs. So, definitely Leafs scored loads of goals, and they scored on the road. They got quite a diversity of scoring. Nylander, Acid Reese, and Kerfoot being the scorers. Assistants being Bunting, Marner, Hall, Nylander, Robertson, and Malgin. Huge diversity. It's going to be real important for the postseason. But again, postseason's a long way off. These first have to get into the postseason. And, of course, it's no sure thing. So, Leafs scored on their own PP, which is important. Well, they scored twice. Nylander very early on in the first period. And at the end, well, at the 18:42 mark of the third, so with a bit over a minute to go in the regulation and the game. By that, even before Kerfoot had scored that power play goal, the Leafs had already been up by such a huge margin that the Habs were not likely to come close to tying it. And certainly the that power play was very effective. They out-hit the Habs 24-13, and they blocked a lot of shots. There was absolutely no player on the Leafs who was a minus. Impressive as well, Matt Murray. Who would have thought? Murray's going to be a sieve. He's going to allow a lot of soft or ugly goals. But nope. Murray stood tall, even on a 5-on-3 power play. I'll get a little bit later into a little bit of a chink in the Leafs' armor, which was the penalty kill, but all in all, pretty good. I mean, they also outshot the Habs 31-30. So what did I not like so much? Well, first thing, the PK. Leafs allowed a goal against their own PK after taking one too many penalties. They're all minors, but took one too many. And as a consequence, Jonathan Drouin, assisted by Juraj Slafkovský and Anderson, put the Habs on the board at 3-1 Leafs. Another thing I didn't like, the Leafs won 35% of the face-offs they took. That's not good. Yeah, I can understand win just slightly over half, but well under half of the face-offs, something's wrong. The Leafs are going to have to fix that, and soon. Because if they win too few, they could be beaten by a really good team during the regular season, and that ain't going to be good. And so pretty much those, and also the number of shots, 30 shots, one every 2 minutes. They've got to do a better job of clearing pucks in front of the net. I watched penalties. Leafs took too many penalties, and there were moments that I thought, oh, the Habs scored. The Habs are going to score. How could Matt Murray stop those shots? It's a good question to ask. The Leafs took 10 minutes worth of penalties. just see what the... Alright, let's see what the penalties are here. So Zach Aston Reed took a penalty. Marner took a penalty. Alex Steves, Michael Bunting. And what? Who did put the penalty here? Oh, Aston Reed, Marner, Steves, Bunting, and who else did put the penalty here? I forget. Did I miss someone here? 4. I know Leafs took 10. Alright, no, whatever. Whatever. So, yeah, they've got to do a better job. There's no doubt. So, wow, there's not a lot of positive to take out of the Canucks' epic collapse in the third period. You know, I mean, it's not really any conclusion I can make that, you know, that Colin Delia, one of the AHL goalies under contract to the Canucks, let in an ugly goal, but my God. So what I'll do is, alright, what I liked about the Canucks and did not. Yes, there's no doubt I congratulate the Oilers. I'm a neutral observer with respect to Canadian teams other than the Leafs. You know, from the preseason to the end of the regular season. Postseason, I root for as many of the Canucks, Oilers, Flames, Jets, Leafs, and Senators as possible because I really want one of those teams to win a Stanley Cup, given how many post-1967 ones the Habs have won, albeit none since 1993. It'll be interesting to find out how many, if there even one Canadian team other than the Habs makes to a Cup final. That'll be determined during the postseason or before then. We'll see what happens. Probably at least one of the Canadian teams will get in. Be a question of which one most likely. So, I mean, I'm not pro Oilers or pro Canucks or anything. I follow the Canucks. You know, there's one of my favorite YouTubers about the Canucks. Happens to be Canuck Clay, known also as Clay Imu. The live stream take place to this Tuesday morning, North American Eastern Time. Definitely looking forward to participating. You know, making some comments. If I'm still awake by then, I'll try to post a link to that after that video, after the video goes up. But in the meantime, so what did I like about the Oilers? Or excuse me, about the Canucks? Well, the Canucks did score on their own power play, and relatively, well, early in the second period. From Nils Hoglander, from Lannon and Garland. At 4:24 mark of the second period. So, you know, that's positive. And so another positive, Connor Garland. On another goal assisted by Lannon. A bit later on in the second, a bit after the 13-minute mark. Well, when it comes to when it comes to what I didn't like so much, well, a lot outshot, even if not by as much as perhaps some feared, 36-30. Oh, they took quite a number of penalties. Well, they took 8 penalties. Oh, they took 8 minutes worth of penalties. Thankfully, not all the majors. The Canucks won just 37% of their face-offs. Wow, that's not good. And and to finish things off, goals against. Wow. Okay, so Canucks didn't score a preseason goal against the Flames early last week or the Kraken over the weekend. But my God, Do you get much worse than being blown to bits 7-2? Blown out? Not much. The Oilers, very late in third period, scored 3 goals in a span of just under 2 minutes. Dylan Holloway, Warren Foegele, and, Warren Foegele, third, for that third Oilers goal of that period. Wow. They're all even strength, so for me, it just, man, do the Canucks suck. Weren't the Canucks supposed to be better than the Habs? My God. In October of last year, first 10 regular season games, the Habs ended up getting 4 points. Bad enough for an average of 0.4 points per game. The Canucks have the same average points per game so far in the preseason after 5 games. So 2 points over 5 games. So that's 2 out of a possible 10 points. Habs had 4 out of a possible 20 by the end of the 10th regular season game last season. And we all know what happened with the Habs. Ultimately ending up way at the bottom, drafting Juraj Slafkovský, number 1. Well, Slafkovský hasn't exactly put up the points. So I would say, he's a teenager. Well, I call him a young adult because he's out at the age of maturity under Canadian law. And under American law. Well, under Canadian law. So, in some provinces of Canada, Slafkovský would be old enough to drink alcohol. Well, not Ontario, but I believe Quebec, where he's based, with the Habs. Well, we'll see what happens with Slafkovský. Although he did get an assist against the Leafs on Monday, North American Eastern Time. That said, the Canucks were supposed to have not been in rebuild mode anymore. Instead, going for a playoff spot under Bruce Boudreau as head coach. Like, what's going on here? I mean, when's it going to click in that defensive lapses cannot happen? Okay, so preseason points don't matter in terms of qualifying for the regular season. Well, if I were a Canucks fan, I would say it was a good thing. But such points don't matter because the Canucks have been a train wreck of a team. With 2 games to go. You think I listened to this Sportsnet 650 radio show? The Sportsnet 650 being the main Sportsnet radio station based on the Lower Mainland of British Columbia. For Toronto, where it's where I live, that station is the Fan 590. And definitely look forward to episodes of the Real Kipper and Bourne show on weekday afternoons, North American Eastern Time, noon to 2. But effective after the 2022 Blue Jays season is done. I look forward to the episodes on posted on Sportsnet YouTube channel and from 3 to 5 North American Eastern Time. It's definitely I definitely like that Sportsnet radio show, that Real Kipper and Bourne. I wonder if on Tuesday's episode there's going to be a discussion of the Canucks. My God, the Canucks suck. They got a lot of work to do, but we'll see what happens. It's a good thing I'm not rooting for the Canucks, but just a follower. As much as I hope that at least one of the Canucks, Oilers, Flames, Jets, and Senators ends up making the 2023 postseason because the Leafs have not won a playoff series, we'll have to see what happens. At one point last season, the Leafs were well on their way to making a playoff spot, unlike any of the other teams from Canada. We'll see what happens this time. But anyway, I'm going to end off with good night and go Leafs go.